Do you remember the first day of school? I know I do, and we're talking about everybody's first day of school right now. Stay tuned. It's the Family Reunion After Show.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. We are chugging along on this beautiful train called Family Reunion, and today we are talking about episode 7. Do you remember the first day of school? But before we get into it, I want to introduce the girls that I cannot do it without. First, we have the queen of the Cupid Shuffle at the Family Reunion,
actually true.
Chae Jones.
Hey guys, that actually is really true.
And while she's busy doing the Cupid Shuffle, we have Zakiyyah, who is the queen of the chicken head at the Family Reunion.
That is not a lie. That is not a lie.
We stay dancing at our family reunions, and I am Alexis, and we are getting into it all right now. We have Jade, who's fighting for equality. Mazzi does a classroom switch up, and Shaka has his first crush. But before we talk all about that, ladies, what did you think of episode 7?
I loved it. It actually, gave you those, first day feel vibes. Mm-hmm. Oh, here's somebody cute. Mm-hmm. And, you had those relationships that you've had since kindergarten. You're just like, oh, that's been my, that's my woman for a couple of years. It's like a love-hate thing. Mm-hmm. I love the entireness of it all.
Mm-hmm. What you think?
I loved it because we got to see Jade and Mazzi and Shaka interact with other children in their school. So I thought that was super cool. Yeah. We're finally seeing them interact with their peers. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting to see what they say, how they go, what they do. It was like their own little personalities outside of their parents and grandparents.
Yes, definitely. I think the personalities is a big thing because I think people go through a lot of different emotions on first day of school depending on who you are and your age and all of that stuff. And I think we really got to see different ways that children deal with the first day of school and what situations everybody ends up in. So we start everything off. The kids are in the kitchen and in their rooms, and everybody's just getting ready for the first day. And the biggest thing that stood out to me was Jade kind of not obsessing, but being, really putting really care and detail into figuring out what she's going to wear for the first day of school. What did you guys think of that?
It's weird for me because I didn't go. I had a uniform from K through high school, so I've always had to wear a uniform. I really didn't have to think about what I'm going to wear unless it was the weekend. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting for her to do that, but then also watching her, she's like, I don't want to look thirsty, and she takes a sip of the milk, and her, Madeia's just like, I see you don't have a problem looking trifling.
Yes.
Love those Madeira one-liners.
Because they're gold. They're gold, and you've heard them since you're a kid. If you're in any black house, you just heard it. Mm-hmm. And it was just interesting. She's like, this one says, I'm sassy, sophisticated. This one says I'm fun. I'm just... That's too much pressure. Mm-hmm. I liked my uniform. It was easy. A polo and some black pants, and I'm good, and I'm out the door.
Yeah, what you think?
That was absolutely me.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, should I wear a necklace with it or no necklace? Mm-hmm. Or should I pair with these shoes or glittery? Glittery might be too much for the first day. I don't want to give them all my flavors. Mm-hmm. So I got a lot of flavors this week. You got the week planned out, a lot of flavors. But yeah, I love that. And then when Mazzi and Ami and Shaka and all of them were coming downstairs for school, I love the saying that Ami said. She's like, well, the teacher said it's not the kids who are late, it's the parents.
That's so true.
That is kind of true.
That was funny, though.
Yeah, that was a good line.
Because my mom blamed me all the time, so
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it made sense after watching the whole episode, kind of seeing Jade really put that care and time into checking for her outfit, because we realized that it's obviously something that she's very passionate about, something that she feels is very important. So when she gets to school, she's dealing with grief from those awful bullies who just keep messing with her that I hate seeing. I hate that they bully her. I'm sorry, I love Jade. But she ends up getting in trouble with one of the bullies. Mm-hmm. They all get in trouble because the principal felt like their attire wasn't appropriate. What did you guys think of that?
Sorry, I'm gonna need you to go back somewhere. For me, even only having worn uniforms, first of all, Michaela's dress was not too short. Mm-hmm. Trust me, I've seen shorter. Missy's outfit was just cute. Everything was covered. So even if it's like form-fitting, I didn't understand the problem. And how is Jade's shoulders naked? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those are the questions that actually flew through my head. principal played by Mark Curry, who's been in this game for a long
Hanging
time.
with Mr. Cooper.
Right? This is the second time he's also been on a show that Tia has been a lead on, because he did Instant Mom with her too. But it's just, because I was on set when they were filming this, but even now seeing it back, I'm still just, I think it's interesting how girls are getting told by 3 pages of what to wear and what not to wear, what's not appropriate. And guys are, that he can show his shoulders. I think that's a valid conversation that a lot of school boards needs to be having.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for Jade for taking the leadership and ownership of that assignment that she felt like was so dear and near to her, and she actually went to the bully and then her newfound friend. She's like, this isn't right. There's 3 pages of information telling us how we should dress, and all the guys have to do is not show their butt cracks.
And the guy was just like, because nobody cares what we wear, and that is the point. No one cares if you're a guy and what you wear, but why should you care? Because I'm a girl. Why should my clothes matter to you? You don't have to wear them.
I was proud of her, and also the principal, wasn't he the guy from Major Pain?
No,
he was the guy from
Wayans.
Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
That is a Wayans.
Oh, dang.
So he's one of the many people. One thing I really liked about this show is I feel like in most of the episodes they've brought somebody who is on a popular black sitcom to come and do a role, and that was our role. He had Mr. Cooper in the building as the principal, so shout out to him. But kind of going back to just the initial reaction when he made them put on the hoodie and told them that what they were doing is wrong. For me, it was actually kind of normal. Yeah. I'm from a very, very, very small town in Alabama. So at my school, we couldn't wear short skirts. We couldn't wear our shoulders out. We couldn't wear crop tops. We couldn't wear a whole bunch of makeup. Like, these were rules that I grew up with. So even just watching her picking out her outfits, I'm like, wow, that's a little much for a 14-year-old. But I also had to think with my mindset of how I am now, living in LA and watching the kids go into school. And I remember the other day I was driving and I drove past the high school and somebody was walking in with a crop top, and I was like, I can't believe she's wearing that to school. But I really have to think that it's different. You know, on this show they're in Georgia versus out here we're in LA and rules are different, and so we kind of saw an introduction to that in this episode, but we'll get some more into that later. We had a little switch up in between with Mazzi.
Oh my gosh.
Mazzi walked into the classroom and he's a little perplexed. He's like, why am I the tallest one? He's answering all of the questions. He already knew certain things. He's getting candy. He's like, wow, oh my gosh, I'm getting candy. And then he realizes he's in the wrong class. And even after realizing that, decides to stay so he can keep getting all the candy. What did you think? Is that such a Mazzi thing, or were you surprised?
I think for him, because he's always used to being the smallest and not so... like you said, he's a basic C student, so like now he knows all the answers, and that's a different feeling than he's used to. I think it's understandable that he would want to take that, glory just a little bit longer before he is thrust back into the actual grade he's supposed to be in.
What do you think, Zakiyyah?
I thought the candy kept him there because he was going to change his mind. He's like, wait, I'm not supposed to be in this class. And then the candy kept him there. And the talk he had with his brother, Shaka.
Yeah, Shaka.
Did not help.
The whole red-shirted thing. And it sounded good, stay back, get stronger, and go into 5th grade
they
ready.
They do that in football, where you're red-shirted and then you stay extra year of college or whatever. But I mean, seriously.
Not from 4th to 5th grade. You kind of need to go to the 5th grade.
And it was so cute, the little pun where the teacher was giving candy because her husband was a dentist. I'm like, okay.
Oh,
really?
yeah, I chuckled at that.
You can't knock the hustle. I was Mazzi on that one.
Yeah.
But eventually he gets found out. They catch him in the classroom, and he has a really beautiful talk with his dad. And I really enjoyed that moment because I just enjoyed them kind of seeing Mose, because Mose is the silly one, so it's always nice when he steps into that dad role and can like kind of give words of wisdom. What did you think of that?
I thought it was a nice, like, sweet moment because Mazzi needs to know that you can be bigger, stronger, and faster in the class you're supposed to be in, the grade you're supposed to be in, but you have to give yourself the opportunity to try.
What do you think?
I think it was a good reminder of these are the conversations that our young boys need to have with their dads or with father figures or with whoever, actually, just not to change yourself just because of a beneficial aspect now, because it's not going to benefit you later. So I thought that was something that was really important that needed to be said, and it was kind of like moment for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And in all of that craziness, Shaka is getting his Mac on. So he finds a backpack that ends up being the backpack to beautiful Brooke, who he is just completely smitten by the moment he lays eyes on her. And he gets advice from Mose, which I think is silly advice. And I'm thinking that he's going to completely strike out and be goofy and tongue-tied and not know what to say. But when he gets to the girl, he is macking to her and ends up getting her number.
With no emojis,
shocked.
mind you.
Yeah, exactly. What were you guys shocked? I know I was.
I thought it was just really smooth, and he's like, "Did I succeed?" But like, Brooke is sassy. She's like, "Did I give it to you?" Also played by the amazing Akira. You might have noticed her from Captain Marvel. You know, she's killing it, and she's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was completely shocked. I said, "Wait a minute,
Shaka.
Who is this? Is he? Did he? He did. Okay.
Yep. Killed the game.
He shot his shot. I mean, if you're gonna do it,
and dunked like he nothing but net. Hey,
I loved it because she kind of left him hanging for a second.
It was cute.
Like, did I give it to you? And he's like, oh, okay, and I'm walking away. She's like, well, he's cute, and he did bring back my backpack. You know what? 7'6'2".
Yeah.
5'5'5". And you know, his face just like
It was so cute.
yeah, just like you said, shot his shot, and it was nothing but net, and completely shocked me because I thought he was gonna strike out, and he didn't. So kind of going back to Jade's whole battle with, you know, being able to wear what you want and kind of feeling like things aren't equal. When they were in detention together, that's when they realized, you know, the guys have on short shorts and their shoulders out and nobody's saying anything to them. Why are they making this a gender thing? And her being so passionate about it, it ends up becoming a conversation for the parents and for Madeir, and we see them kind of conflict. We see Coco, who is on her side and totally for it and is super proud of her daughter for fighting back, but then you have Mose, who's kind of leaning more towards, you know, just follow the rules, and Madeir is the same way. What do you think? Where do you guys kind of fall on that spectrum?
I fall on Coco's and Jade's side, and that is seriously because the rules need to change. Our world is changing as it is. And just because you keeping it that way won't make the changes not happen.
Right.
So I'm really was with Jade on fighting. Even the guys were wearing skirts to prove the point. Guys in Scotland and Ireland, they were kilts. And nobody blinks.
Right. What do you think?
I thought, again, I was on Coco and Jade's side, and it was nice to see that Madeir actually came around, too.
Yeah.
And she said, you know, you're right. I don't completely agree with my granddaughter, but there is a time that change needs to be made. I lived in a time where change needed to be made, and she even did the little shoulder. And just seeing how Madeir has so much power because she actually was the person to basically resolve everything and let it come to. So it's just that powerful connection between Madeir, Coco, and Jade, and Mose, and how they all as a family, no matter what, stick together.
Yeah, it's also a good thing for grandparents and parents to say, I don't agree with you, but I don't need to agree with you to support your choice and and who you are as a person. And that for me was a very great message.
Yeah. I think it was a great message, and I think I can say that this has been one of my favorite episodes because not only was it funny, but it really tackled an issue that we're dealing with now, just the kind of the difference in equality between men and women, and I'm glad that they tackled it the way they did. All right, guys, so we are going to go into our special segment. We are talking about first days of school. So we want to talk about our first days of school, too, and we're going to talk about our first day of school rituals. Exciting. So, Zakiyyah, start us off. What is one thing in your house you had to do to prepare for the first day of school?
I always picked out my outfits for at least 3 days the night before. Yeah. Always.
Yep. What do you think?
Got McDonald's for breakfast, and I only lived across the street from my high school, so I really didn't have to wake up till like 6:45 to be at school by 7:30. That was my favorite thing.
For me, it was always getting my hair done. I always had a hair appointment the day before going back to school.
Of course.
You always had to have your hair laid. That was my ritual. All right, Zakiyyah, let's get into news and gossip.
Yes. So speaking of activists, I'm jumping ahead. I'm excited. But speaking of activists, they mentioned Angela Davis, which is an important and monumental activist, especially in the Black community. She fought for so many things, such as women equality, and then also criminalization or the justice system. So just going into a little bit about her, or some things that are important that we all should need to know, is that the National Women's Hall of Fame, Angela Davis is actually going to be inducted into that Hall of Fame.
That's good.
On September 14th.
Nice.
So super exciting. So make sure you guys tune in and learn a few things about Angela Davis and about the other 266 women who will be there.
Nice.
Yep.
That's so exciting. I think it's long overdue, and I'm excited that that's happening for her. Let's get into our predictions.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I predict that we're just gonna learn more about Steve Moses as a dad and how like he handles things with each sibling, I would say.
Okay.
I predict that we're gonna see more of Emmy, like come out and like be herself and be cute.
My prediction, but also hope, is that we see a little bit more with Shaka and Brooke, because I think they are so cute, and watching them kind of, flirt with each other was cute to me. So I'm hoping that is what's coming next. All right, guys, that wraps up our episode. Before we go, ladies, tell us where we can find you.
Hey guys, you can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram.
You can find me on Instagram at Zakiyyah W_.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at I am Lexi Fierce. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next episode.
Bye guys.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.